My name is Scott Bingle. I'm the former CFO of a $300 million general contractor in Charlotte, North Carolina. For context, I want to give you some background. July 12, 2023 was my 5th Life Day celebration after a near fatal brain hemorrhage and related stroke. Life Day is called that because that was the day the surgery that saved my life was performed. And we celebrate that day every year now.
Gladly.
There are too many people and organizations to thank individually, and where I am today, I'm afraid I'd leave one out. It started with a 2-week headache and nausea caused by an unknown arteriovenous malformation, or AVM, in my brain. I'm walking and starting to use my left hand today, due in large part to my bride's diligent research and networking and persistence. On July 11th, 2018, I was sent home from work because I looked bad. I had a headache and nausea and dizziness. My wife insisted that the guy who's taking me home take me to the hospital instead because we thought it was migraines. The ER doctor told my friend when dropping me off he had a major brain hemorrhage creating a stroke and he won't probably live past dinner. I was later transferred to a larger hospital for brain surgery to remove the AVM. Craig Vanderveer with Carolina Neurosurgery did the surgery to remove the AVM on July 12, 2018. Hence the name, saving my life, but I had a long road ahead. I was in the neuro ICU for 48 days and inpatient rehab for 47 days following that surgery. The doctors said 1% make it back to walking, talking, and caring for themselves, functioning on their own. I got home and did rehab intensively with a neuro PT OT for several months and years, but I still had deficits on my left side and somewhat deficit cognitively. I literally would fall asleep during conversations and could not focus well. My wife found Apex Brain Center and thought it would be good for me. I first came to Apex for 2 weeks in July of 2022, and literally they did a 1-day intensive to see where I was, and I fell asleep during the closing analysis. It was ridiculous. That's where I was. Through the use of laser therapy, oxygen therapy, Resimax therapy, and metronome therapy, I improved substantially during that first 2 weeks. When I returned home, I had many tell me the difference in ability and cognitive skills was monumental. One side of my brain was apparently working to cover for the other side, and it was exhausting both sides. I can't say enough good about Drs. Trafford and Zaremba and their staff at Apex. They are very intelligent, intentional, and talented doctors. They take the time to explain the therapy and the expected brain responses. Apex is like a family together in how they interact so cohesively and with such compassion, and they bring patients into the family too. They took me in, met me where I was, and treated me with great respect, answering all questions patiently and helping me through all the therapies while being cheerleaders for me and other people, patients on site. I can't stress how much I improved with this hidden gem of Apex Brain Centers in Asheville, North Carolina. I call it a hidden gem, but it's really not, because Drs. Trafford and Zaremba are very highly respected in this field and give talks and interviews all the time because of the respect people have for them. I'm driving again and starting to play golf and conversing at high levels again. I feel I am becoming the best version of myself again, finally. Thank you, Apex, for pushing me and showing me how to do the work with you and at home. You too can improve for your life days and become the best versions of yourself. Thank you so much.
Wow, no, that was beautiful. I'm kind of tearing up over
great.
here.
Wow.
That was really good.
Well deserved. I'm sorry.
Really good.
I wanted to say more specifics, but about your group, but it just, I mean, I tear up every time I think about where I was and where I'm now.
Yeah.
And to say that I feel like I'm the best version of myself, for me to say that about myself is a BFD, because I am not one that likes to brag on myself.
Sure.
But I told her and her brother last night, I feel like I'm finally back to a place of being happy again. I'm happy where I'm at for now. I'm gonna push to be better, obviously, because that's just who I am. But I feel like I'm trending on the best version of myself.
I agree.
And I think, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were gonna be sitting in. I would have yielded to you more.
It's okay.
Do you think I'm the best version of myself?
You're the best version of yourself.
Are there outtakes for this?
That's what people want to watch, is the blooper reel, right?
The outtakes.
No, I mean, this really
nice.
has been the best experience, and to have a year celebration. I remember last year when we scheduled our first week here, our first 2 weeks here. He's catching.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so it's not outtakes yet.
When we scheduled our first visit here for the 2 weeks, the first day when I was looking at the calendar was the day that he had his brain hemorrhage, the anniversary of that, and I got really like, oh my gosh, that's going to trigger something. But I looked at it and talked to my therapist, and she said, you know what, that's a good thing, because now you're doing something different, so you can kind of reframe what that day means to you guys. And to come back a year later after doing, this is our fourth time, so to come back a full year later on the same anniversary of the hemorrhage and the life day, and to be able to celebrate all the gains that we've made in a year. I mean, this has been, I mean, obviously the most monumental thing was when he went from wheelchair to walking, but then this past year has been the most monumental in terms of, from, like you said, cognition, just being more alert. Our first week here, I remember telling you guys that Wednesday night we watched a show and he didn't fall asleep, and I'm like, this is amazing. He actually stayed awake during a TV show.
And I sat next to her for once.
Yeah.
Which I usually try to, but sometimes it's hard to work my way over to the sofa and so forth, and then get out of the sofa.
But just, you know, and a huge part of it is doing the work at home, you know.
Gotcha.
And just like anything, you know, if you do all the work here and then don't take it with you, you know, you're not getting the best ROI. So Scott's dedicated to doing it. It's a lot of work, but it's working
It's
tremendously.
a lot of work at home, but if you stay focused and on task and do daily and wake up saying, I want to be the best version of myself every day, hit the ground, thank God that your feet hit the ground like I do, then you go on task and say, okay, I'm gonna do laser today, I'm gonna do retronome today, I'm gonna do whatever today, E-stim, Resimax. Every morning I do Resimax on this spastic left arm, and I'm gonna tell you what, it relieves it to the point of total relaxation for my OT when she comes.
Right now too.
And it makes a huge difference. A huge difference. It just, my caregiver, he runs that Resimax up and down that arm, and it just like releases. And it's been fantastic because it aches. You know, the spasticity makes it ache. And I get up in the morning, that's tight, and that is the huge relief for me to have that done. And just next topic or next action.
Right.
And I've used it. I've used it when I have a headache, and it works.
Awesome.
Yeah. Or if I have like some anxiety, and I just put it right here.
Yeah, totally. Great.
Yep. All the tools that these guys have vetted are incredible, and we've bought some of them and use them at home, and just are religious about using them because I want to get better and better and better. And the tools have been vetted and they're good tools.
I think the main thing too
From
is that
my
from the medical community, that's why functional medicine I love so much, because the work that you all do on finding alternative therapies, the traditional medical community said like after the first year, no more gains, you know, like you've hit your max. And Scott's a perfect example to show that like if you keep doing the work, the sky's the limit. So to still make gains after 5 years is pretty remarkable.
Absolutely.
And to do things with my left hand with you.
Because they said he would never
While we've got
get his left hand back, yeah.
vibrating thing on my left tricep and so forth, to be able to do things with him, with Dr. Zarumba, and use my hand to grab and release is a big difference. And this hand has gotten a lot stronger, as Dr. Zarumba and his staff will tell you. This hand has gotten a lot stronger.
Beautiful. Beautiful. This is all amazing. Not to mention the amazing news about you becoming a grandfather on your life day too.
Soon to be a grandfather. That's right.
That's excellent. Let's see. I guess the only other thing I'd love to just, what's like your message out there of like giving people, someone who's having a tough time with hope and just being like just don't even want to bother. Like what's the action call? Is there something that
The
sticks
action
out?
call is to Apex Brain Centers, because they will give you hope with their approach, their compassionate approach, and their tools they use, and the way they help you through the therapies and tell you the expected reactions of your brain. It gave me a ton of hope my first 2 weeks here. And then when I got to exercise it at home and at dinner at nights and whatnot, that's when I realized that, this is gonna work. So the hope message would be,
Just
don't give up.
Yeah, don't give up.
Don't give up. Joe Galvano, don't ever give up.
Awesome.
That's the hope message. I mean, and this young lady here, her persistence in finding Apex and then telling me, you know what, we got nothing to lose, let's go. That's why I got here in the first place, because I didn't have anything to lose, number one, but number two, once I got here and started seeing results, that's when I started saying, you know what, I've got hope now. I want to be the best version of myself for her, for my kids, for my grandkids, and for everybody. And you just got to keep the future in your eyeballs. What do you want to be? Kind of like your guidance counselor told you in high school. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Exactly right.
I want to be a super dad, a super grandma, a grandpa, and a super husband. Super husband.
Awesome. Very cool.
And a better singer. Because these guys here will tell you my singing is much to be.
It's pretty good, babe.
I think it's good. Just real quick, say something about how music has been part of like your healing process, whether it's here or at home. Like,
music has been a huge part of my cognitive healing process, because I'm making up words to songs, and the guys here challenge me to have a good song when I come in.
You started that challenge yourself.
Well, I started that.
Exactly. But we furthered the challenge.
Exactly. Music just makes you happy.
It makes me happy, and it gives me rhythm of the day, and
He sings all day long.
in the great words of that country theologian Travis Tritt, it's a great day to be alive.
I love it.
So I look at it that way. You know what?
Yeah.
Life's too short, and I want to take every bit of advantage of it. And music just gives me that top off in the morning to kind of get on it.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Get on it. And making up words to existing songs and knowing that they expect that here gives me, motivation to make sure I do it. And then the cognitive side makes me think about songs I know and songs I like and songs that will be relevant here,
Huge.
because
Yeah.
I know some of their tastes are widely varied here, and
Of course. Yeah, no, but we appreciate it. We really do.
And humor, I would say humor's.
and humor. I try to mix humor into it too, because I want to laugh, guys. That's how I am. I want to laugh, and I figure that I got to enjoy life, and that's how I enjoy it, is by laughing. And I feel like it's therapeutic too.
I agree.
It takes the edge off things for me, and I hope that it'll take the edge off my caregivers at the same time.
Probably does.
Whether it's physicians or caregivers like my bride or others.
Yeah. Great.
That's just how I roll.
Great.
So,
Anything else to add, Duffy Marie? Anything that you wanted to say?
You said it all, babe.
Yeah, you did.
I just can't say enough about your team and the dedication and the love that you have for Scott and the other patients that I see here. And this has been our biggest blessing in the 5 years of our journey. So.
absolutely, I would echo that 100%. 100%. I've gotten more out of functional neurology here. The neurologists I had back home hardly touched me. It was hard to get an appointment.
We never got brain scans like you have here, and the feedback, the IF
feedback and the
all of that.
analysis.
Yeah.
But other parts of it is, even the PTs don't tell you kind of what to expect from this, what to expect your brain to do from this therapy. And these guys, they tell you, this is why I'm doing this, and this is what you can maybe see out of it. And that, I get huge gains out of that thought process,
Awesome.
Like when you do some of those laser therapies, this is why I'm doing it, and that to me is worth it. It gives me energy, it gives me hope, it gives me motivation to try to do it and see if he's right.
Yeah. And it looks like I've been right enough times that
You've
Yes,
been right
Yeah.
enough.
Beautiful. All right.
Thank you.
I think we can sign off.
Thank
Awesome.
you.